What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuckwerk Play Sly 2 Band of Thieves Part 1. This is the second Sly game in the series, the second game to be made by Sucker Punch Productions, and this is the first Sly game to introduce a new playstyle to what it was in the first game, a new art design as well, and the first game to have Murray and Bentley as playable characters. And so we'll take a look at the menu really quickly. So you can see you can change the camera to normal or inverted. I'll leave it on normal for now. You can invert the turret controls, invert the binocucom controls, the effects volume. You can turn that up. This should be all the way. The music volume should be all the way. You can do load game or new game. And we'll just go back and we'll just start from here.
Breaker Alpha Foxtrot, this is the Wizard. Do you read me, Sitting Duck?
This is Peking Duck. I hear you, Blizzard.
No, Sly, I'm the Wizard, and you're Sitting Duck.
I read you loud and clear, Lizard.
No, I'm... Forget it, you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, Bentley, I know this is your first time out in the field, but you've gotta loosen up. If we're gonna get to those Clockwerk parts, I need you on your toes. So in plain talk, what's your status?
Well, I've established myself in the basement, and I'm pretty sure I can rewire the service elevator if you can power it up from that security station.
Hang tough, pal. It might take some time, but I'll figure out a way to get up there.
Alright, so as you can see, this is definitely a different the game play style is definitely different than the previous game. You can see there's a regular walk, and then there is instead of running, it's and then there's a run by holding down the R1 button. The style of a regular just a walk and then a run has been used ever since this game, and in Sly 3 and in Thieves in Time. They've used that ever since then. And now you'll see me collecting coins a lot because coins play a bigger role in this game than they did in the previous game. As you can see, we have a health bar rather than lives in this game. So what you actually need coins for are upgrades. I don't even know where I'm going. To be okay. Oops. For upgrades that we can buy later on in the game, at certain points in the game, we will be able to buy different upgrades.
Okay, I spliced the wires. Ouch! Hold on. There it is. Okay. Let me at that security computer.
And so I will definitely be collecting coins a lot more than I probably should.
Offline. There goes the laser security system. I'm working on the security gate. Presto, all clear.
Thanks, pal. For your first time out, you did pretty well.
Oh, this operation is far from complete. Now that the lasers and spotlights are offline, Murray should be moving into position for your rendezvous. I'll stay here and provide computer support while you go on ahead.
Alright, so now there will be enemies. I'm not sure if there's actually any enemies close by. See, not a lot of treasure out of a lot of this stuff. And so that was Bentley, if you couldn't tell. So just like in the previous game, there will be there will be sections where that it will be subtitled, and the sections where it won't be subtitled. So you know, you have to be careful for that. It's kind of actually, it's also hard to hear just sitting here playing the game. You know, if I wasn't trying to record the audio, so hopefully it will pick up. Now, the enemies are also designed a different way now. They focus on, if they hold like a light source, they focus on a light source more, or a line of sight.
According to my information, the Clockwerk parts are being stored up there. Now to get access, you're gonna have to meet up with Murray at the rendezvous point. Unfortunately, the route through the garden is filled with guards.
No problem. I'll just take the long way around.
If memory serves, you need to jump and hit the circle button to run along ropes.
Yeah, and so we do get the rope, whatever you want to call it, walk. And the range for it is actually has been increased, so you could, and it actually works a lot better than it did in the first game. So you can actually use this to gain some speed in different
Must have gotten lost along the way. Try pressing on ahead without him.
in different situations, and I'll try to point those out if they come up. They usually, I don't know if they really come up in this game. I know in later titles is where you can gain quite a bit of time. You can see he got a redesign and also a new voice actor, I believe.
Greetings, citizen. I hope you weren't harmed by my meteoric entrance.
No, Murray, I kept at a safe distance.
Good, good. The Thunderflop knows neither friend nor foe, only destruction.
Yeah, could you maybe channel some of that raw energy into the security gate?
Of course. It is nothing before the Murray. Okay, all clear.
And you can see what the health looks like, the little red crosses. Are what serve as health in this game.
Another barrier stands before you. Fear not. I shall bend it like the truth.
Solid work, Murray. You're really in the zone.
My hulking frame is too much for that puny rope. You go ahead and unlock the doors from the inside. I'll be waiting in the hallway to help you carry out the Clockwerk parts.
And now, for the different characters, you know, every character has their own move set. Of course, Marie and Bentley wouldn't be able to do the.
I don't get it, Sly. The Clockwerk parts should be here. This is all wrong. We need to pull the plug on this operation right now.
Freeze, Cooper.
Inspector Fox, as beautiful and unpredictable as ever.
Whereas you crooks are so predictable. You always return to the scene of the crime.
Crime? I haven't stolen anything. Yet.
Oh, really? Then who broke in last night and made off with all the Clockwerk parts? You've got the motive.
Someone already stole the parts?
Don't play dumb with me. It might not have been him, Comlita. The method of entry and guard casualties all point to this being a Claw Gang job.
The Claw Gang?
Constable Neela, I allowed you to sit in on this stakeout as a favor to the Contessa. I really don't need any help. Oh, I think you might. Look at the facts. Facts! Sly Cooper is right here. I caught him red-handed. I'm just saying that there are other criminals in the world other than... Sly Cooper! After him! You can't run forever!
And so we're gonna have to do another one of these.
Shake a leg, Murray. It's time to go.
Thankfully, they don't happen that often.
This wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah, well, this is where things get fun.
You have to watch out, be careful,
Thief!
because of the obstacles in your path, like like the jars there, and you don't want to run, or you don't want to jump,
It's getting a little hot. You guys go warm up the van. I'll keep Carmelita busy.
because
You're all going to jail.
Pick me up at the rendezvous.
because jumping slows you down quite a bit. And so all you want to do is just keep moving. Her aim is not as accurate as it was in the previous game, so you don't have to actually worry about that too much, thankfully. As long as you just keep running and do not stop for anything, you should not be hit by it, unlike in the previous game where even just by running you could take damage if you got the timing wrong. You can see I'm quite a ways ahead of her. And then you just jump in. There we go. About messed that up. Just about messed that up. But there you go. That's the starting level, the prologue level, I guess you could call it.
Carmelita's just as angry as ever. She's really quite lovely when she's angry. That constant Mila. Was a reference to the claw game just a slip of the tongue? Or an intentional clue? Either way, it's our only lead on the missing Clockwerk parts. Clockwerk. He was consumed with jealousy for the Cooper clan's thieving reputation. Is it inappropriate to refer to him as a monster? No, not at all. What kind of person stays alive for hundreds of years with the express intention of wiping out a rival's family line? Imagine the hatred fueling that first decision to replace his mortal body with soulless machinery. Ultimately, it did the trick. Clockwerk. He caught up with my parents, and I wound up in an orphanage. It's there that I met my pals, Bentley, the brains of our outfit, and Murray, the brawn. They turned out to be all the family I needed. 2 years ago, I thought I'd finished it. How naive to think I could so easily put an end to that kind of hatred. And now he's back. In pieces, sure, but the threat is real. Does the Claw Gang even realize what they've stolen? I don't know what's in my future, but I won't let it be a repeat of my past.
So it kind of gives you some backstory if you haven't played the first game, which is nice. You know, it doesn't give you a lot of detail about the previous game, but it does give you a little bit. Alright, so when following, so that just means it auto saves for you. Man, you can see it's saving right now. And so this is the new hideout screen. You can see this is the first episode. We can watch the beginning movie, or you can just go into the episode 1. And that will tell you the percentage and how much time you've spent on this particular level. Now, clues do make a return, clue bottles do make a return in this game. And I'll talk about that once I get into this level.
I had to call in a few favors to get the goods on the Claw Gang's local operator, Dimitri, a sort of underworld celebrity, equally at home in high-class art circles and shady back-alley crimes. He was once a passionate young art student who worked hard to develop his own visionary style. Unfortunately, the art world wasn't quite ready for his kinetic aesthetic. So he gave them what they wanted and started forging old masterpieces. His way of punishing those with bad taste. Dimitri now runs a nightclub on the west side. The thumping music, colorful light shows, and a hint of danger lure in chic young patrons from far and wide. And it's here, hidden somewhere, where we'll find the Clockwerk tail feathers. What Dimitri plans to do with the Clockwerk part is beyond me. But those plans end tonight.
So instead of just Sly Cooper and the gang in, and then each level does have a name to it. And the way that the levels are actually designed are a little bit different this time, and I'll talk about that once I get into the actual level. There'll be several things that I need to point out if Bentley doesn't point out certain things for me. So you see there's the clue bottle there. And these are what the hideouts are now. You actually have to go to these locations. You can see you can buy and sell loot. Or you can, sell loot and buy gadgets. I'll take a look here. And this is a thief net, so you can buy a trigger bomb. We don't actually have enough for any of this. So that's why you need to collect a lot of money. So the only person who can play is Sly right now. And so I'm sure Bentley will tell me something.
I tell you, Bentley, it's gonna be a real pleasure robbing this nightclub.
I share in your enthusiasm, but before we hit the inside, we'll need to do a little reconnaissance work.
What do you have in mind?
I've installed this special antenna on the safe house to help with our first job, hacking into Dimitri's satellite array. The coordinates for the job start beacon have been uploaded to your binocular. Make your way to this position, and I'll give you a full briefing on our objective.
I'm on my way.
Alright, so you can see that marker is the job instead of actual levels. It's this hub world type area, and then you go to the individual jobs, which
If you click the L3 button, press the left analog stick, I'll beam some virtual markers into your feedback. They'll help you find your way around. If no markers are in view, use the right analog stick to move the camera and look around for them. Remember, the view is always better from the rooftops.
yeah, very good advice. If you don't know where exactly to go, you can always run up to the rooftops to get a better look, because you can always tell usually on the rooftops where you need to go. Now you can see there's 30 clue bottles here, and I'm actually going to change the let me see, options, music. I'm going to turn the music down because you can hear the clinking of the bottles really easily. And it's a lot better if you don't have the music on. Of course, you have to have the sound effects on to be able to hear the clinking. And you can hear the clinking from quite a ways, which is both good and bad, because that makes it a little bit harder for you to get an exact location. But that means you're not running around in everywhere trying to look for. That is something that the later games, at least I know for sure. And I'll knock this guy out real quick. Now you can pick his pocket by sneaking up behind him and pressing circle. If his back pocket is glowing, that means that he will have loot or treasure that you can sell. And I'm not sure if we'll actually see that right now, or if that's for something later on. But yeah, at least Thieves in Time, sadly, take this away. And you can see that the indicator at the top left is flashing. That means that there are enemies nearby, and they can easily they will hear your presence if you run behind them. If you try to sneak up behind them, the game will automatically slow you down, which is both good and bad. If you're trying to get some treasure from an enemy, that does kind of make it bad, because especially if they're a fast-moving enemy, they can get away from you pretty easily. But if they're not a particularly fast-moving enemy, then that makes it a little bit easier. So I know where this other clue is. And so with this, oops, I was trying to gain a little bit of time, but actually ended up wasting quite a bit. But you can see what you have to do. The clue bottles are more hidden in this game than they were in the previous title, and because of this open hub world type area, it makes going after the clues a little bit harder than what they were in the first game. And now you want to be careful alerting the other guards to your presence. You can see when it's flashing. When it's flashing, that means that enemies know where you are. Usually all you have to do is just get far enough away, and you can avoid detection, but you usually have to wait a few seconds before the indicator, before the indicator will go away. Oops. Oh. Yeah, and you can also hang on to ledges a lot easier than you could in the first game, which makes it a little bit easier trying to double jump on perhaps a platform that was just a little bit too high that you may not have been able to reach very easily. Where you can just grab onto the side of the ledge and make it a lot. That will make it a lot easier. And you can see just there's a lot of things you can get coins from, either enemies by picking their pockets, or you can always just kill them. If you pick their pockets, you can usually get rid of them a little bit faster. I'm just looking around because I knew that this was here. But you can usually get. It doesn't. I don't believe that it affects the amount of treasure that you get from the enemies. Because there are different sized enemies, of course, bigger enemies will have more treasure than little enemies. But I do not believe you will gain more treasure if you just pick their pockets rather than take them down with a stealth move, which is what I did earlier. And how you do a stealth move is sneak up behind an enemy, press circle, then immediately press square, and I will try to demonstrate it with this enemy. I thought there was an enemy around here somewhere, but maybe he jumped into another area. And you can see that now this is closed off. We can't actually get over here, but we're going to have to either use this to hop the fence, or we'll have to go all the way around to this side of the city before we can get up there. And now enemies cannot actually hear the clue bottles being broken, so you want to be careful, especially if there's a big enemy around. You want to be careful when you break clue bottles. I have more than once actually taken quite a bit of damage just by smashing a clue bottle by an enemy. Usually they have to be pretty close to hear the clue bottle being broken, but you still want to be careful, anyway. And now this is where the hard part begins, trying to find clues that are usually stuck on the outside of the level. Let's see, there we go. Or hidden in an oddball little place like that. And now I'm just sitting here listening for clue bottles. And this is another game to easily get a platinum trophy on. So if you are a platinum trophy hunter, this is a pretty good game to do that too, and it's pretty fun as well. So that makes it worth playing, rather than just some small worthless game that really isn't worth the time it takes to get the trophy. But to try to help you find the clue bottles, you want to start on the very outside of the map. And let me see if I guess that's the gadget grid. Pretty sure there's a map. Maybe there isn't in this game. Okay, well I guess there's not a map in this game. I could have swore there was. But you can kind of tell how the layout of the city is, and I'll try to show off a stealth. Oh crap! If you get caught, you want to immediately just either run or kill them. If you knock them off of a ledge, even off of a building, like if they chase you up, if they follow you up on top of a building and you knock them off, say right here, if there's an enemy right here, and I just swung and knocked them off, that would kill him immediately, and that would allow me to get the coins from him without any problems. Now you can hide underneath these tables to evade. Not really evade pursuit, but you can. That is the stealth kill, by the way. But not really to evade pursuit, but to try to sneak up on an enemy a little bit easier. And of course, breakable objects, enemies will hear if you break a breakable object around them. The line of sight thing, you really don't want to get into their line of sight or they will easily find you. That is something else that you want to be careful of. But it is pretty easy to get away from enemies. So if you do get spotted, it's not that big of a deal to get away. Usually, you just have to get on top of a rooftop or something like that to be able to hide. There should be a clue bottle or two up here. Or either around here somewhere. Possibly not. And possibly on the other side. Yep. So sadly there's only one here, but you can just kind of see how spread out that there's one around here as well. Yeah, there it is. Right now I'm just really focusing on not getting the clue bottles out of the way. There's another one around here as well. So I don't have to worry about them anymore. You know, it's actually not a bad idea if you can, because you can find the clue bottle so easily. It's just best to go ahead and knock them out of the way now and then worry about doing the jobs later on. There's another one around here somewhere. I believe it's up top, and I want to collect this money here real quick. Let's see. I don't think it's up there. I don't think you can get up there. Possibly it could be on the ground. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's just one. And you can see in a big area like this, you can collect quite a bit of money going through here. Maybe not through all the chairs, but still a pretty good idea to try to check that kind of stuff. So there's one here. There's another one back here. It's things because sometimes you think you hear a clue bottle when it's actually isn't a clue bottle. So you do want to be careful for that. But thankfully, the clue bottles do have a distinct sound that once you hear it, you know for sure that that's what that is. I'm not hearing nothing, so I guess that's what that was. Yeah, it would appear that those suitcases respawn, so you see I'm right back here. Now the health and the coins will disappear after some time. So if you do collect coins, you want to be pretty fast. Excuse me. You want to be pretty fast if you to collect them before they disappear. So this is always the hard part, having two or one bottle left, because usually you'll end up running around the entire level trying to find it, and it'll take quite a while to find it. So that's when you want to either start on the inside of the level or the outside of the level, and then just work in the opposite direction. So say if I was to start on the outside of the level, then I would want to work my way inside to the inside of the level, and the other way around. I can hear a clue bottle here, and so I'll check up here. Yep, there it is. Really? Now you can collect these clue bottles. The last one's around here somewhere. Now you can collect these clue bottles with either with all of the characters, of course, you know, with some of these more oddball. Oh, there it is. With some of these more oddball clue bottles.
That's all the clues. But we still don't know where the vault is. Keep looking. It's sure to be inside this place somewhere.
Uh, to you can also, you know, use the other characters to get the the clues. But with with some of these oddball clues, you definitely want to use Sly, and it's actually just easier to use Sly. All of the clue bottles can be accessed by Sly only, not but that does not apply with all of the other characters. There are some clues that the other characters just cannot get, just because of their location. Of course, as you go on throughout the game, the locations of the clue bottles will get more and more difficult, so that only Sly can get them. So it's just easier to go ahead and knock them out with Sly.
Sly, I need you to hack into Dimitri's communication array so that we'll have access to his database.
How am I supposed to do that?
To start, you'll need to get to the top of that tower. Then reposition the satellite dish to point at my safe house antenna. If you want to climb on stuff, jump and hit the circle button to grab hold. Try climbing up that pipe.
Right. Jump and press the circle button to climb pipes. I'm on it.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this job, and then I think I'll end the video here. These jobs do take quite a while.
Holographic markers near interactive objects like this satellite dish. When you're near these markers, press the circle button to use the object.
These
The first one's in position. I've uploaded the next waypoint into your Thief mask imager. Remember, click the L3 button to locate your next objective.
these jobs can actually take quite a while. In these episodes can take quite a while, a lot longer than the previous game. So I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of pacing for this to try to do this as efficiently as possible. So for now, I will finish this job,
Okay, only one more to go.
and
Activate your Thief mask imager by pressing the L3 button to find the last dish waypoint.
then
Remember, the view is always better from a rooftop.
I will
You can hold down the R1 button while walking to break into a fast run, but be careful, as this is sure to be loud enough to alert any guards in the vicinity. Nice work, Sly. I'm downloading from Dimitri's mainframe as we speak.
All in a night's work. So, where do we go from here?
Your next job is to break into the nightclub and take some reconnaissance photos of the Clockwerk tail feathers. To get inside, you'll have to sneak through an old wine cellar beneath town.
Okay, I'll head out for the cellar.
And as I said, this is where I'm going to end the video here. We'll talk about the trivia for the parts of the game that I've done just now. And as I was trying to say when Bentley kept interrupting me, I'm going to try to find a better pacing for this. Try to figure out how many jobs are usually in each level. If there's a set number of jobs, and I can kind of figure out how many jobs to do per video, just so I don't waste a whole lot of time. So I can manage time very easily, and I don't end up making too many videos or doing anything like that. But anyway, so let me see. I can figure out where these levels are. Let me see. Oh, okay. So I guess we'll just go to the prelude episode of Shadow from the Past. Shattered from the Past is the tutorial level of Sly 2 Band of Thieves. While attempting to steal the Clockwerk parts from the Cairo Museum, the gang discovers that the infamous Claw Gang had already stolen the parts and have framed the Cooper Gang. At the end of the level, Sly and the gang flee from Inspector Fox, who believes that they stole the parts. Constable Neela is seen for the first time, distracting Carmelita so Sly can make his escape. Location is Cairo, Egypt. Jobs 1. No clue bottles. Let me see if there's any enemies. I doubt they would actually say the enemies, but there is trivia. Pictures of Raleigh, Miss Ruby, mugshot, and panicking can be seen on the walls of the museum. This is the first level to feature moving cars. This is the only level where you don't fight guards. The mission appears on Sly 2 Band of Thieves demo and Ratchet and Clank 3. During the chase, after Sly jumps out the window, if you jump off the platform, you can move the camera around and see that the level is cut off from that side. That's pretty interesting. And so we'll go to episode 1, the Black Chateau. Sly and the gang visit Paris, where the Black Chateau is the first real episode in Sly 2 Band of Thieves, and the main antagonist is Dimitri. There are 10 jobs to be completed in this episode and 30 clue bottles to find around the environment. So, overview. Sly and the gang visit Paris, where Dimitri runs his popular nightclub. This is all up front, however, that kind of spoils it, but, let's see. I'll have to read all this again once I beat the boss fight. I'll have to remember to do that because it kind of spoils a little bit. But anyway, I guess I can go to Satellite Sabotage to read that, since that's the one that I just did. Satellite Sabotage is the first mission in Black Chateau of Sly 2. Sly must reposition 3 satellite dishes towards the safe house antenna so Bentley can get information on Dimitri, his hideout, and his base of operations via his communications array and his database. No trivia for this particular mission, so I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, so that's all the trivia for everything that I've done so far. So I thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many coins did I collect from breakable objects in this level so far? Yeah, how many coins of the 200 and something did I collect? Well, how many coins did I collect in this level? We'll just leave it at that. How many coins did I collect in this level, both from enemies and breakable objects? So thanks for watching. Next time we will do some of the jobs. I'll try to, now that I know that there's 10 here, I can kind of plan that out a little bit better. So until then, later everyone.